Imagine you're sitting down to eat a burger. It looks like beef, it smells like beef, it even sizzles in the pan like beef. But it's made entirely from plants. Plant based meat is a food product engineered from plant ingredients such as soy, pea protein, or wheat gluten to mimic the taste, texture, and appearance of animal meat. Plant based burgers are common in supermarkets, restaurants, even fast food chains. But here is a surprising part: fake meat isn't a modern invention. People have been trying to replace meat for over 1,000 years. Welcome to Foodiversity, where we explore the history, science, and stories behind the food we eat. And today, we are uncovering the 1,000-year history of fake meat. The story begins over 1,000 years ago in China. Buddhist monks followed strict vegetarian diets. For centuries, meat was expensive and considered a luxury reserved for festivals, special occasions, or by the wealthy. To entertain foreign hosts, Buddhist monks created something fascinating: mock meats. They use ingredients like wheat gluten, tofu, mushrooms, and seaweed to recreate the texture of pork, chicken, and duck. When wheat dough is washed with water, the starch comes out and a stretchy protein remains. This ingredient is known today as seitan. Seitan has a firm and slightly chewy texture, which made it possible to shape it into pieces that resemble meat. In Mandarin, mianjin or wheat gluten means literally wheat meat. Tofu, a food that dates back to prehistoric times in China, was popularly known as small mutton. These dishes were served in Buddhist temples. Some were so realistic that visitors reportedly couldn't tell the difference. Even today, many Chinese vegetarian restaurants still serve these traditional mock meats. The goal wasn't technology, it was religion and philosophy, eating compassionately while still enjoying familiar flavors. During the Middle Ages, Christians followed strict fasting rules, especially during Lent. People were not allowed to eat meat from land animals, but large feasts and celebrations were still common, especially among wealthy households. So cooks had to find creative ways to prepare satisfying meals without using meat. One interesting solution was the creation of fake fish. Some medieval recipes described dishes shaped to look like fish or meat even though they were made from completely different ingredients. For example, cooks sometimes use almond paste, breadcrumbs, herbs, and spices to create mixtures that could be molded into different shapes. These dishes were often decorated and colored using ingredients like saffron to make them look more realistic. In medieval times, food wasn't just about hunger, it was about status and presentation. Fast forward to the early 20th century. During wartime, food production changed dramatically. Governments needed to send large amounts of food to soldiers, and transportation systems were often disrupted. As a result, many countries experienced shortages of meat. To solve this problem, governments and food scientists started exploring ways to create meat substitute using crops that were easier to produce. One of the most important ingredients during this time was soya beans. Soya beans are naturally high in protein, which made them a good candidate for replacing meat in certain foods. Researchers experimented with different ways of processing soy protein so it could be shaped into patties, sausages, or loaves. People also created other substitutes using ingredients like beans, peanuts, lentils, and grains. Although many of these wartime substitutes disappeared after the war ended, they showed that large populations could adapt to foods that did not rely on traditional meat. During the 1960s and 70s, many people became more aware of environmental issues, animal welfare, and personal health. This led to a growing interest in vegetarian diets. Food companies noticed that more people were looking for convenient vegetarian options, especially products that could replace familiar foods like burgers or sausages. One important development during this time was textured vegetable protein, often called TVP. TVP is made by processing soy protein into small pieces that expand when cooked and take on a texture similar to ground meat. This ingredient allowed companies to produce vegetarian burgers, taco fillings, and other meat-like foods. These products were practical and nutritious, but they still didn't fully replicate the flavor and texture of real meat. For many people, they were simply vegetarian foods rather than true meat replacements. But the idea of recreating meat more accurately was already beginning to develop. In the 2000s, food science changed everything. Companies started asking a different question. Instead of making vegetarian food, what if we could recreate meat itself? This led to the rise of companies like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods. These companies use advanced food science to mimic the exact structure of meat. Impossible Foods developed a molecule called heme. Heme is what gives real meat its bloody flavor and color. By producing it from plants, they created burgers that sizzle, bleed, and taste surprisingly like beef. But these companies met with significant controversies regarding the ultra-processed nature of their products, high sodium or saturated fat levels, and the use of genetically engineered ingredients. Some vegan critics have opposed Impossible Foods' decision to conduct animal testing to gain regulatory approval for its heme. While plant-based meats are becoming more common, researchers are also exploring a completely different idea: growing real meat without raising animals. This approach is known as cultured meat or lab-grown meat. Instead of raising livestock, scientists collect a small sample of animal cells and place them in a controlled environment where they can grow and multiply. Over time, these cells can develop into muscle tissue that is similar to the meat we normally eat. The first lab-grown burger was introduced in 2013 and it was extremely expensive to produce. However, the technology has improved significantly since then, and some countries have already approved cultured meat products for limited sale. Based on a similar principle, South Korea has developed meaty rice. If you are interested, check out my video on the same. Supporters believe this approach could reduce the environmental impact of meat production and avoid the need to raise large numbers of animals. At the same time, the idea raises new questions about food technology and how people feel about eating meat grown in laboratories. Fake meat isn't a trend, it's a 1,000-year experiment. From Buddhist monks to wartime survival to modern food science, humans have always searched for ways to recreate meat. And the next chapter of the story might completely change how the world eats. If you enjoyed this food history story, subscribe to Foodiversity for more videos on the science, history, and secrets behind the food we eat. And tell me in the comments, would you try fake meat or even lab-grown meat?